And I do want to switch gears and talk. No, don't do that. Oh no, it worked. Stop! Get out of there! Stop it! My curse is all over the place here. Xbox and Sony. Xbox and Sony. I say Xbox and Sony, not Microsoft and Sony, even though I really should say Microsoft and PlayStation. Xbox and Sony are teaming up. And what can we expect from this team up? I'm not entirely sure. It was only announced today. This was another, I think this was today or very late last night or something. They're teaming up. I'm not entirely sure what for. What I've read was that they were talking about teaming up with Sony was teaming up with Microsoft for some sort of shared cloud solution. I think the problem is, you know what, AR, this might be something that I think Nintendo would get in on at some point. I think the idea is that they are teaming up for some sort of shared cloud save system to help with cross-platforming. One of my biggest issues when the whole Sony cross-platform thing was happening was, and I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know anything about this kind of technology. I may be talking completely out of my ass here. I'm wondering if Sony had in place the architecture to do shared saving, because they already had their own cloud saving service with PlayStation Plus. I think has the cloud service. I don't know that it would be easy for them to open up shared saving with the other platforms. And I wonder if this was when the whole thing, because there was the whole joke about, you know, Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft teaming up, and Sony just, no, I don't want to team up with you. I kept wondering, because then what the hell was that game? What's the game with the cars and the soccer ball? Rocket League. They wouldn't cross-platform with that. They wouldn't cross-platform with Fortnite at first. And I remember thinking, maybe they can't. Maybe they because they have their own cloud saving service setup, maybe they're not able to share that easily with the other systems. Because that whole thing just happened where you couldn't change your PlayStation name. So if you logged into Fortnite with your PlayStation name, it would look different from your name from your other systems. And then when the whole shared thing, when it came out on the Switch and you could share your save, Sony wasn't able to do that either. And people kept saying that they're being really stubborn. And I remembered wondering, maybe it's that they can't. Because notice, they're not just saying, okay, we're just going to do it. They have announced a partnership to figure out a way to do it, to develop a system that works for them. So I'm wondering if it was not possible before. But as far as I can tell, that's really it. Oh, sorry, I'm like super thirsty. But they still have a lot of convincing to do to get me a PS5. Here, let me go back and check some of these out. Making Stadia even more pathetic. Yeah. Yeah, you forgot about Stadia, didn't you? Gabby, the only thing I know about Stadia is that if they don't come out with a subservice called Stadia Arcadia, I'm going to be upset. Sony Microsoft Shared Universe. When you find out that the Little Big Planet people and Blinks the Cat are all part of the same shared universe. I think I heard something about cloud saves, which I'm guessing is a save transfer for. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get. We're not gonna get. Like, I don't imagine that you're gonna get Xbox Live on your PS4. But at the same time, we're kind of almost getting that on the Switch, I think, or where we could be. So I'm kind of amazed. Stadia's flop is gonna be epic. Oh wait. Epic. See, I need that button a little more active, a little closer so I can get to it. Final Fantasy 14 is PC, Mac, and PS4 crossplay. Yeah, I know that one is at Fortnite they fixed at some point last year. So I know that there's more of it. It's very interesting that they're teaming up now, and I'm not sure what exactly, like where this is going, what's going to come of it. I mean, we're in the early points. Xbox Game Pass on Switch. I mean, buckets though. Hopefully something good, both the industry. I don't know. Maybe we're headed to the thing that I was talking about before, that I've been talking about for a while. Maybe they're all gonna pick their corners and they're gonna stay there. They've been fighting each other for so long now. Maybe we're gonna get to a point where they do exactly what I've been wanting for a while, for Sony to have the high-powered console market, for Nintendo to have the high-powered handheld / hybrid market, where they manage all of that. You know, if you want a decent handheld, if you want a decent system that you can also play portably, you buy the Nintendo. If you want to get the high-powered console for your house that stays in your house, you buy the PlayStation. If you want something with more computer compatible, because that was the only thing that is not happening yet, is that I wanted them to start developing Xbox branded PCs that are upgradable and, you know, come with a certain games that are made for it will work on that system, but then the system can be upgradable at your choosing. That's probably not going to happen, just because it's too much like the computer, the PC market that already exists. But, you know, this would be everybody picking their own corner and enjoying their slice of the market. I think it's a good idea. And it feels like that's what's happening. You know, PlayStation 5 is not the competition for the Switch. They are not in direct competition. They have their feet too well into different areas of the market. They're not in competition with each other. Xbox and PlayStation were in competition with each other. So if Xbox is gone, that leaves PlayStation to have its own area, Switch to have its own area, and Microsoft can work somewhere else. They can work to develop games. They can work to develop, like I said, the PC with upgradables. Xbox PCs, upgradable, but the same price as, Latimer, $200-$300 entry-level PCs. But when you buy it for $300. Say you buy it for $300, which is normal. When you buy it, you can say, okay, I want to pay the extra $100 and get the graphics card update because I am going to use it as a gaming setup more. Or, okay, I'm happy with the graphics system that's in there. I'm going to pay for the CPU that has extra cores because I may want to use this to stream low-level games. You know, you're not going to be playing Halo 6 at 4K and streaming with the system, but maybe you're going to play Xbox Live arcade games on stream, you know, and then later on maybe you can upgrade it. Maybe you can buy it with the higher CPU and then later say, okay, I'm going to pay $150 now and I'm going to buy the higher graphics card. It's a proprietary graphics card for the Xbox PC, but it's significantly cheaper than if I had a regular PC and had to go buy the graphics card, which would be $250 or $300. It'd be an interesting way to get into both the video game market and a little bit of the PC market. And my other idea was the system, either you can order it with either a basic keyboard and mouse and a controller, or no controller but a higher end gaming keyboard and mouse, so that you can pick what you want to do. But can it run Doom? I would imagine it can run Doom. Will it run Crysis? I'm gonna get to the top range stuff and play Minesweeper. Oh my god, Minesweeper 4K. Oh my god, you can see the people panicking as they plant the flags. Do you think it's only Sony teaming up with Microsoft? Will they be teaming up with Nintendo as well? Fox, I think they might team up down the line. I think at some point, whatever they're working on, they're going to bring Nintendo in on it because it works for everybody. Having that environment that I described works for everybody. It is the perfect system. You gotta use that hardware to play Minesweeper at one bajillion FPS. Yeah, hopefully having these upgrade options easier to understand for the casual audience. That's one of the biggest ideas that I have with that, is that if somebody were to tell you to upgrade your graphics card, you would not know what to do. You would go to the store and you would see a wall of graphics cards and not know anything. Or you could go to the store and you can go to the Xbox PC graphics cards and see this one is $100. This one will do 1080p 60 frames per second or 144 frames per second perfectly. The next one is $150. Gives you 1440, I don't know, 120 frames per second. And then the $200 one is 4K. You know, there's no, it takes the guesswork out of it. You know, and it's also a fun way to tinker. It's a fun way. After building this computer, I recommend everybody build their computer. It's so great to do it, to see it come together and to see it work. This would be a great system for everyone a great way for everyone to enter into the idea of tinkering with your own electronics, tinkering with your own PC. When I think about game development for that kind of upgradable system for cheap, it sounds awful. Games on that thing would be kneecap because graphic architecture is really interesting. Well, no, Hawk Goggles, what you do is you make the basic version the baseline. 1080p, look, 4K gaming sounds fantastic, but realistically, 1080p should be the base. 1080p 60 frames per second, rock solid, should be the baseline. I don't think we're at a point where 4K is the mandatory. People don't even have 4K TVs on the regular right now. 1080p 60 frames per second should be the baseline of all gaming. You make it so that Xbox runs baseline. And here's the thing. You would not need new versions of the games because you would basically just be using the PC versions of the games. And they'll run at 1080p 60 frames per second perfectly on the baseline system. The upgrades are for you to do something more. If you do, excuse me, if you do the higher CPU, your games will run a little faster. They'll look about the same, but they'll run a little faster. If you do the better graphics card, your games will look better. The loading times will still be similar, but they'll look better. You know, and then you can pick and choose what's important for you. Let me ask you this. How about this one? Let me ask you this. Your cell phone right now. Everybody's got a cell phone. Diablo reference. If you could pay $50 or $100 more for your phone right now, for the phone that you have, and upgrade one aspect of it, would you do that? Would you go and say, listen, can I get a better processor in my phone so that everything loads up quicker? It's probably going to get a little bit warmer. It's going to eat up battery life more. But for some people, that's not important. For me personally, I go from home to work to maybe run errands and then go home. My phone is plugged in most of the time. So weak battery life is insignificant to me. Or I could pay the $100 and say, I would like to upgrade my battery and give you an extra back with a thicker battery that will give you 3 times, 4 times as much off of the charger as your current phone does. You know, if you're somebody who is on the road a lot, we talked about hiking and walking around and camping earlier. If you're somebody who does that a lot, someone who is away from the ability to charge their phone for a significant amount of time, would that benefit you more? The idea of the upgradability would be, you know, and again, you don't have to do any of it. You still enter at the original price that you entered at, but the ability to upgrade specific features and customize them for your needs might appeal to some people. This sounds like the puzzle phone. First of all, you called it a puzzle. Anybody who names anything puzzle, you're going to lose a bunch of people because people don't want their cell phone to be a puzzle. Which sadly flopped due Apple and financial backer pullout. Outside of games with this new Xbox handle surfing the web. Yeah, it's Cyan Fox. It would have all of the web capabilities. That's the thing. The idea for an Xbox PC would replace your PC. Or rather, if you were in the market for a new PC, but you also game on your PC, this might be a cheaper entry point option for you. That's why this is not, you've got a decent computer at home and you're going to run out and throw your computer out and go buy an Xbox PC. This is for, I've got an old computer, maybe it's an old laptop. I would like to upgrade to something that can do a little bit more as a desktop. And okay, I can buy this. You know, instead of going out and buying a regular PC, I can buy this that will function as a PC. Because let's face it, unless you are some sort of content creator, you surf the internet and you play games on your PC. So why not buy a console-based, a console-like PC? You know, it just sort of works. It works for me anyway. It works in my brain anyway. Are we finally getting true cross-platform? We hope so, Sean. We hope that's what all of this is for. Hey, RS Ray, what is happening? They haven't said anything about the next Xbox. Yeah, they haven't said anything. A lot of people are speculating that there won't be another Xbox. There are some people saying that whatever their plans are might not be a console system. Or if they do have one, that they might actually ditch it. You know, I don't know. It just sort of makes sense. They've been losing. Microsoft's been losing. The 360, the Xbox OG, the OG Xbox was a very powerful system that was very poorly managed. The system had a lot of potential and it was poorly managed. The 360 was a great system, but it had all of those red ring problems, so people had to buy new systems. I do kind of wonder if that contributed to their sales. I mean, the system itself was great, but I don't know. I just feel like people weren't as... even though some people would argue that Xbox 360 sort of won that generation, I don't know that it really did. It's not a lasting impression. And then the Xbox One is clearly in third place at this point. Too many moving parts, too many parts to move around. You'd have to update at least once a year. And soon you'll have to put other parts just to keep up with the new ones. Then the games aren't going to... No, it's Hawk Goggles. That's the thing. They don't. The games don't have to upgrade. What I'm talking about when I say Xbox... an Xbox branded PC would function like a console in that there is the baseline version. Everybody who develops games for it has to conform to those baseline stats, those baseline specs, which are 1080p 60 frames per second, and it has to work with certain baseline specs. The baseline would be comparable to the other things on the market, and then you can upgrade what's important to you. That's why if your argument is that every couple of years you're going to have to replace it, that's what we have now with consoles. Every couple of years, they're going to start making new stuff for a new console, and you have to buy a new console. So this would be something that you could upgrade it a little bit as you go. And then, yes, in 5-7 years, you're going to have to buy a whole new one with a whole new baseline. But until that time, you could upgrade it a little bit more. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to buy... Yeah, one reason PC is better than console, in my opinion. Yeah, Ray... Absolutely. My argument is just that PC is a bit intimidating for people to get into. It feels like such a daunting, sort of overwhelming thing. So an Xbox branded PC with a more simple, streamlined setup and upgrade path would probably appeal to a lot of people. I think so. And you know, if it fails, they're Microsoft. They've got like $100 bajillion. Did you stream yesterday? Because that's ePortlock. I did not stream yesterday. PC building requires knowing how to put things together and which parts to get. Ray, it sounds simple for people that know how to do it, but when you go to when you go to the PC store and you see the wall of just power supplies, it's intimidating. Looking inside of a computer is a lot of the times intimidating for people. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look simple, and so right off the bat they see that and they say, nah, I'm not even gonna try it. I'm gonna break something. I said it a million times. I streamed me building my computer and I still said I feel like I'm going to break something. I watched dozens, if not hundreds of hours on people building computers, how to do it, what they're required. I used PC part picker to make sure everything was compatible, and I was still nervous about doing it. I learned how to build PCs for years on my own. I'm still learning new stuff. Well, because there's still all stuff coming out. By the way, your name, RS Ray, keeps throwing me off because I got ray tracing on the brain right now, so I keep thinking that. I prefer a console because it's a lot simpler to set up. Yeah, so Lilac. Okay, let me ask you, Lilac. Since you prefer consoles because it's easier, what if there was something in the middle? What if there was a console with some sort of upgradability similar to a computer, but they were proprietary parts, so you didn't have to worry about which CPU you could buy. There were only one of a few to choose from, and the physical act of upgrading was simpler, but it got you more into it. You didn't have to worry about thermal paste and a whole bunch of stuff. Does that sound like something that would appeal to you so that you could upgrade the console as you want? And then, yes, eventually buy a whole new one. But you could upgrade it for a little bit cheaper. Red Shell Ray. Okay. Do you have a dickish brother named Blue Shell Ray? I've never met him. I'm never in first. Sega Sonic fan, 1991. But yeah, this whole Xbox Sony thing, I guess I really don't know where it's going. Back to the original topic. The barrier for entry for just all that. The barrier for entry for PC gaming is still prohibitively expensive. People want consoles because they guarantee that the game will work. Yeah, and that was my whole thing with the idea of an Xbox branded PC, was that games with the Xbox PC logo on them will definitely work on that computer, but then you may want to upgrade it later if you want to add something extra to it. My pain issue that I don't think it would work on a console manufacturing budget, because that would be, Hawkeye was, that's where we agree. I don't know if you would be able to get it down to the point where the affordability is there. Because if you've got $500-600 and you want a PC level gaming experience, you can get that for that money. The problem is that you have to pay for it. You have to do it yourself. I mean, you can build a very competent $600 gaming PC, but if you try to buy the same PC from somewhere, it's going to cost you $800 because they're going to charge you for the labor. They're going to charge you for the know-how, even though it's actually not that difficult anymore. 7. DB Store, Grumpy Cat was 7. Because Nintendo's also partnering with on some things as well. Do you think with this new Xbox console PC hybrid, this would be the perfect opportunity to get Nintendo games on PC? I think it might be a perfect opportunity already. I think the way they're working together right now, I would imagine that at some point we might see a Nintendo game, or at least a Nintendo IP on the Xbox system, just because they're working together. I'm on Team Gaming, but I don't have the budget to get all 3 consoles. Yeah, I think that's Diego. That's most of us. We don't have the budget for all 3 of them. Okay, we're gonna switch gears again. Oh, and I didn't make upgradable consoles simple for the consumer. It would be plug in and out certain parts. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. That it would be something a little more drop in and pull out. as opposed to you have to unlock the whole thing. Metro Prime 4 with mouse and keyboard? What? Metro Prime 1 through 3 with mouse and keyboard. I'm not a mouse and keyboard guy, but I know that people would go crazy for it. I think people are a little too afraid of failing. Nobody's ever not failed, and failure is how you get better. I realize that costs are involved. And DB Stewart, that's the biggest problem. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm afraid of what it's going to cost me. I'm afraid of having to spend $200 for a CPU or more, $300 for a graphics card, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and then I accidentally static shock something, and I have to get a whole new one. What gives the impression that Nintendo and Microsoft suddenly teamed up? They were teaming up last year, wasn't it? With they talked about them teaming up together. They teamed up with Microsoft with Minecraft and a couple other things. They've been working together since last year. Speaking of game, I asked before, I was in the middle of a convo. Have you seen the Steam and GOG release, which I'm not familiar with GOG at all, of Maui, Mallard, and Cold Shadow and Hercules? No, I did not see that. You mean early this year? Was that early this year? That wasn't early this year, was it? Them teaming up with Microsoft? Cuphead. Microsoft saying more to come. Yeah, that's why. They've been working together for a little while now. We live in a post-Endgame universe. Everybody teams up now. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has brought gaming companies together. I love it. Hold on. But we are going to switch gears right now.